Welcome back to One Life Radio, everyone. This is Bernadette with Anthony Cernelia. I've got Dr. Mike McFarland in studio with me and Dr. Judd Brewer on the line. He is a medical doctor and a PhD. He is an internationally known thought leader in the field of habit change and the science of self-mastery, having combined over 20 years of experience with mindfulness training with his scientific research. He is the Director of Research and Innovation at Brown University Mindfulness Center and Associate Professor of Psychiatry at the medical school as well. Dr. Brewer has developed novel mindfulness programs for habit change, including smoking, stress eating, and anxiety, and has studied their underlying brain mechanisms. His work has been featured on 60 Minutes, at TED.com, in Time Magazine, Forbes, NPR, and BBC, among many others. He is the author of the book, The Craving Mind, From Cigarettes to Smartphones to Love, and Why We Get Hooked and How We Can Break Habits. You can follow him on Twitter at JuddBrewer. I almost said JuddBrewer.com, but it's at Judd Brewer. That's a habit. At JuddBrewer. Thank you so much for continuing with us, Dr. Brewer.
Thank you.
Well, you know, I love your book. I was telling Dr. McFarland over the break that this is a book that would certainly serve all of his clients as well. He's a PhD and a licensed psychologist in the state of Texas, and he deals with male body image and eating disorders. That's his specialty. But that has a lot to do with this, doesn't it? This addiction and all these habits, how to break bad habits, correct?
Absolutely. I think this all is in the same spectrum. You know, we can have a body image that's never enough, whichever direction we're thinking, which can set up these same habits. Well, yes, absolutely the same thing.
Well, you know, in your book, I was reading it, and on addiction, straight up, Chapter 1, you quoted Pema Chandran, who is one of my favorite authors and gurus, if you will. Her book, When Things Fall Apart, Heart Advice for Difficult Times, saved my life once. It really did, when I was going through a very difficult time. And I think that, you know, this mindfulness movement and awareness and awakening, if you will, serves the human race so well. And it's something that's been around since the beginning of time. Correct?
Yeah, well, awareness has been with us forever. You know, it's very evolutionarily adaptive to pay attention. The question is, how can we tap into that more, especially when so much of media and whatnot is this, you know, attention thief. I don't know if you've heard that term, but we have all these attention thieves, you know, these things that tweet and bing and beep at us to try to get our attention.
Yeah, you know what? I was in a parking lot last night, and before I was leaving from Oklahoma, and the gate opened, and it made a noise, and something else made a noise, and I didn't know what it was, but I found it very annoying. You know, it's like we live in a society, you're right, where something's always trying to steal our attention. And so that leads me to your chapter on Addicted to Technology. And gosh, you know, speaking of the book, When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chandran, she writes in here, being preoccupied with our self-image is like being deaf and blind. It's like standing in the middle of a vast field of wildflowers with a black hood over our heads. It's like coming upon a tree of singing birds while wearing earplugs. I couldn't agree more. That's how I feel about iPhones and technology.
Yeah, and I think the key is to learn how to use them responsibly. You know, I think I couldn't navigate Boston without my phone because I would get lost in my car. But picking up my phone for every text that comes in while I'm driving is, you know, more dangerous than drunk driving.
Right.
The research has now shown. So I think the key is really understanding our minds, and so we can work with them. And that's really what we're aiming to do, is help people do that. And then they can use these things responsibly, because technology is not going away. So we just need to learn how to work with our own mind so we can work with it.
Well, and you write in your book that you saw very clear connections between mindfulness and improving the lives of your patients.
Well, absolutely. Every Diamond clinic, I see this. And you know, just the other day, I had somebody who has alcohol use disorder, and first thing we did was map out her habit loop around drinking. You know, for her, it was, you know, thoughts that were leading her to drink, and then to numb herself, as she put it. So that already was a big light bulb moment, because she could see, oh, this is how my mind is working, as compared to, I don't know what's happening, I just can't stop drinking. Big difference, big difference.
Yeah, you know, I sometimes drink a little too much wine at night. And your book really helped me to make the connections, too, as to why I do that, because we all do at the end of the day have control over our minds, or we want to believe that we do. And we all at any time have the opportunity to exercise discipline. Do you think a lot of it just comes down to discipline?
Well, I think a lot of it, even more of it, comes down to really helping our minds see the results of our behaviors, because the discipline is there when we're doing well, but again, that part of the brain goes offline when we're stressed out, and that's where I see most of my patients relapse, is when they've had a stressful event or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the key is to really help them start to become disenchanted with these behaviors, which works at a deeper level, more at that reward-based learning system, not at the newer parts of the brain. So here, we really help people, and this is why we've developed these app-based trainings, is to help people really see, okay, here's my habit loop, and here's what I'm getting from doing this behavior. When I eat a whole sleeve of Oreos, this is what my stomach feels like. So that next time they have this urge, to binge on Oreos, for example, their brain says, well, wait a minute, you didn't get that much from it last time. And so they're less excited to do it as compared to saying, no, you shouldn't eat. Mm-hmm. There's this saying we should all over ourselves, because we're like, I should do this, I should do that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that well much of the time.
I love your sense of humor. I really do. It's very engaging. And because this is a very difficult subject, I think, for so many people that struggle with addiction or just maybe bad habits or a little bit of both. But can we talk for a minute about the MBSR mindfulness-based stress reduction and how that works?
Sure, absolutely. Well, that's it's an in-person program that was first developed by John Kabat-Zinn back in the late 70s. It's 40 years old. That gives people 2.5 hours a week these in-person trainings to help them really start to understand how their mind works and start to bring awareness practices in, whether it's breath awareness or body scans or other types of formal meditation practices, and then even informal practices that help people learn and work with their minds. Something as simple as paying attention when you're brushing your teeth. That's the start, and it's something that we all can do. It doesn't take extra time because we have to brush our teeth anyway.
Yeah. Well, and can the MBSR help with rumination and ruminating thoughts?
MBSR and, in particular, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, which is a derivation or derivative of it, mm-hmm. has been shown to help with depression, preventing people from relapsing into depressive episodes. And there's a whole lot of rumination that tends to go on there. Yes, the short answer is yes.
Okay.
Especially in places where we ruminate a lot. So, for example, I think of if we're regretting the past, that tends to fall into the category of depression. If we're worrying about the future, that's another type of rumination, and that's where we fall into the category of anxiety. Mm-hmm. And so, get this. We just did a study with a bunch of anxious physicians.
Sorry.
Because physicians are sometimes a pain in the butt to work with.
They
I can say that because I'm just looking in the mirror. I can say that. So we developed an app-based mindfulness training called Unwinding Anxiety, and said, if we can get physicians to use this thing, we can get anybody. Mm-hmm. We got a 57% reduction in anxiety after I think it was a month or 3 months of using the program.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what I said. I was blown away. I mean, it's the first study, but it really remarkable.
Well, and I don't think people understand that physicians are human beings too. We turn them into these gods and think that, they're these robotic people that don't feel maybe as deeply as we do or care as much as we do. I had lunch with a very dear friend of mine who's a surgeon, and his wife is a scientist as well. She's a PhD, he's an MD, and they're a wonderful couple. But I asked him, I said, do you ever get, because we were talking about, I was telling him how I get nervous sometimes before I go on the air, especially if it's a big guest like you. And he said, I said, do you get nervous before you do surgery? He said, hell yes. He says, of course I do. He said, sometimes I have trouble sleeping when I know I have a big surgery the next morning. So I think we all just need to cut each other a little bit of break and a little bit of awareness and understanding that we're all human beings at the end of the day trying to, improve our lives.
Yeah, and I'd much rather have a physician who's human who says, "Oh yeah, I don't know the answer to that," or "I make mistakes," or whatever, than somebody that acts like they don't make mistakes or they know everything, because I know that's not true from my own experience. So that's the human element is what leads. There's actually a bit of research showing that the human connection between physician and patient makes a big difference.
Oh yeah,
in helping people heal and be healthy. So in all these respects, I mean, like you're saying, let's cut each other some slack. Remember that we're human and bring in some kindness. And we actually emphasize this quite a bit in our app-based training, because kindness is so key, especially with eating and with anxiety, because we tend to get in these habit loops of beating ourselves up, saying, "Oh, you should have stayed on your diet," or "You shouldn't be anxious. What's wrong with you?" Yet that just feeds the process itself, instead of stepping back and saying, this is just my brain trying to help me survive, yet it kind of got off the rails a little bit. Let's see if we can learn to work with it.
Thank you so much for writing this book. I'm going to be giving it away to a lot of people. In fact, we've got a couple of copies we're going to give away today, so I'll shout out the number after the break. But The Craving Mind, Dr. Judson Brewer, from cigarettes to smartphones to love, why we get hooked and how we can break bad habits. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to speak with you today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay tuned. We've got more coming up. You're listening to One Life Radio.
The traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend.
Give your body some soul with Sun Warrior's new Soul Good protein bars. Sun Warrior is committed to making the best plant-based proteins and superfood supplements from the finest organic ingredients across the globe. Soul Good bars have an amazing profile. They have 17 to 19 grams of clean organic protein, very low sugar, and 16 to 17 grams of fiber. They're available in delicious flavors like blueberry blast, coconut cashew, cinnamon roll, and salted caramel. Check them out online at sunwarrior.com. That's sunwarrior.com. And give your adventure some soul.
Wellbeing Journal is a remarkable bi-monthly health publication esteemed by intelligent readers worldwide. It's available in print or digital, single issues or subscription. Its focus is on living a happy, healthy life and preventing or healing illnesses naturally. Preventing or healing cancer, arthritis, cardiovascular conditions, and digestive issues, as well as nutritional solutions for optimal health, are regular subjects. Learn more at wellbeingjournal.com.
Hi, this is Vaughn Eaglin. As a licensed professional counselor and supervisor, I spend my career helping people cope with emotional problems. But today, I want to talk to you about nutrition. People ask me all the time for nutrition and weight loss advice, and I always find myself recommending a raw vegan protein, a food supplement called Warrior Blend by Sun Warrior. I wasn't always active and fit. In fact, I was very overweight as a child, and as a counselor, I must emphasize the importance of the mind-body connection. A clean body helps with a clean mind. Start today with Sun Warrior Blend Raw Vegan Protein. For more information, go to sunwarrior.com and start living clean today.
Hi, everyone. This is Bernadette. Do you know why I love Paleo Magazine? Paleo Magazine was founded with the purpose of providing readers with the information they need to live strong, vibrant, healthy lives. They are dedicated to partnering with leaders in the paleo community to spread the knowledge of ancestral health principles without the influence of big pharma or big agriculture. Paleo Magazine. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram, or visit them at paleomagonline.com. That's paleomagonline.com.
Hey, this is Sean Wells of the International Society of Sports Nutrition. One Life Radio is proud to partner with the ISSN. The ISSN is the world's leading scientific organization dedicated to the science of supplements and sports nutrition. For their latest conferences and events, go to the ISSN.org. That's the ISSN.org.
Welcome back to One Life Radio, everyone. This is Bernadette with Anthony Cernelia. I've got Dr. Mike McFarland in studio with me, and Lexi and Avi are mic'd up over here, too. I want to let everyone know that you can go to our website, oneliferadio.com, to download and listen to our podcast and subscribe to our newsletter. You can also go to iHeartMedia.com to listen live or download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to us from anywhere in the world. A big shout out to our sponsors, great companies like Sun Warrior, the Honest Hemp Company, Nature's Place,